The Old Mill Inn is located in Toronto's western suburbs, particularly Etobicoke, Toronto. Here is the front of the inn as you drive up. The circular driveway, I think, is one of the most iconic features of the Old Mill Inn, certainly so as regards its facade. You can see the overall design of the building here. There's so many different courtyards and gardens in this property. Of course, it's winter time now, but usually those features really help the property stand out and feel like a peaceful, relaxing getaway. Walking up to the front doors, you can see again it's been decorated for Christmas. The facade of the building has always remained traditional, and it really is one of the few places left in town that has that old school flair to it, which, while not maybe a little heavy for every day, it's a nice treat once in a while to remember how things used to be decorated. Again, some Christmas decorations, the classic luggage carts there. And moving on now to the lobby, it really is such a step back in time, but also in a tasteful manner. Nothing cliche, I don't think, about the way this lobby's been decorated. And again, it takes you back in time to an old world or old school, grandeur or class, if you will. And it's a nice recluse from the world of glass and marble that is most of what today's luxury hotels are like. So some apple cider there in the hallway. Again, Christmas decorations galore. Some of the darker wooden tones here. There is a bar right as soon as you enter. The Homesmith Bar is what it's called. And again, just a photo capturing that essence of the lobby and the sparkle of the Christmas decorations. Walking up this hallway here, the art and decor is very, very, the old could go both ways. You might think it's way outdated or faded even, or you might think it's a classy finish. But the windows really do help a lot, and you can imagine in the summer or warmer times that this would be on both sides, just cascaded by greenery and beautiful flowers and colors and all of that. If you keep going down this hallway that I'm in right now, there's a spa on the other side of the hallway. Here are the elevators that take you up to the hotel bedrooms. And again, decked out the same every year. It's such a, they say that if you're anxious, for example, you should stick to routines, or that's something that could help. And the routine of how the Old Mill is decorated certainly makes for a nice sigh of relief whenever you're there, because it's the same every winter. And it smells the same too, just so you know. The lobby smells really good. Here is a little sneak peek, I guess, at the spa area, which offers all the conventional spa services you could imagine, the massages, facials, nails, all of that. Now we've taken the elevator up. Our room was on the 5th floor. These little corners here, again, are so classic Old Mill, and you'll see what I mean in a second when I show you the other gathering areas in the hotel. That's again another view of Toronto from the Old Mill Hotel. The room here, this is where the fallen gem aspect comes in a little bit. This type of look might have been opulent and beautiful 20 years ago, but at this point it is very clear that no room updates are being made to the property year after year after year. And so I'm feeling less, this is on the luxury side, and feeling a little more, it's a little lazy. It's screaming a little, we don't have the money to invest. Whether that's true or not, obviously I haven't looked at their books, I don't know. There's a difference between downstairs, for example, we had the old world glamour, but it was luxurious. There were shining, decorations and ornaments and glass and this and that. Up here, it's old school, but it's dull. And the thing is, we have all the features, right? You have the fireplace, you have the large king bed, you have the flat screen TV, you have all those features, but I'm not sure that those features go as far today as they did, again, 20 years ago. Some of the bed finishes are very, I think the word is démodé, out of style. The painting, oh my God, it's dreary. The couch, I think, is horrendous. And you'll have to forgive, it's a little grainy here because the rooms they're actually quite dark. This is footage of the room with all the lights on. Then there's something like this, the windows in the corner there, there's a little bit of a romantic feeling there, I guess, but you see what I mean. There's a difference between old school, old world glamour and just lazy and out of style. And this room is a confusing mix of the two. I mean, the coffee machine is so outdated. The couches and the sofa options are so outdated. This is the closet. It comes with 2 robes. I will say they are robes on the nicer end and well appreciated. Walking into the bathroom is a prime example of old school but not glamour. You know, the tile choices here, the colors here are so faded, they're so dreary. I don't know that these colors would particularly enhance somebody's mental health or well-being or experience in this room. The bathroom is very spacious for a hotel bathroom. This is one of the biggest bathrooms across hotels I've been in, and I think that is sort of what ties up the owner's hands, if you will, from renovating it as well, because you can imagine it would be a large cost to fill up this space meaningfully. Again, you saw the marble on the counter there. Look at the color on that thing. The yellows are just so outdated. More of the same tile and wallpaper here. You can imagine this would have been amazing 20-30 years ago. I do appreciate the toilet being in a separate space than the rest of the bathroom. That's always something that's well appreciated, as well as the 2 separate sinks. You've seen the bedroom and bathroom and the whole suite now, but I couldn't leave this video without pointing out this pill that we found behind the curtains and the horrible dust balls found, dragged across the walls. Things like this definitely contribute to the fallen gem aesthetic that I'm talking about. And the pellets especially could have hurt, anybody, child, adult, or pet. These are views of the common spaces. Again, this goes back to the old mill grandeur that you can see they would not only have aimed for back in the day, but attained. And I remember the old mill being a legendary location for weddings and for events for loved ones and acquaintances as I was growing up. And I think there's still something to be said about the common spaces, but the disclaimer being there. And I'm a lawyer, so I like to, disclaimer is just part of my language. The disclaimer being that if you don't look too closely. If you look too closely at these spaces, you're going to see dust, you're going to see tiredness, you're going to see an overwhelming amount of furniture that, again, you can imagine for the owner to replace every single piece of furniture as was. It would be such an extraordinary cost. The secret lies in cleaning out the space, obviously, right? Having less junk there. The word junk, I mean, once upon a time, it might have been, beautiful pieces of furniture, but a lot of it is junk today. It's not meaningful. It's not adding to the space in a positive way. These are dining spaces. The old mill has so many dining spaces for events, big and small. Overall, the dining spaces do get my vote of confidence. And the food there, I'll say, is not, a 10, but it's stable. You can bring somebody and not be embarrassed to have dined at the old mill. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed the authentic and hopefully meaningful commentary featured in this video. I have to say, as somebody that grew up in Etobicoke and loves Etobicoke and Toronto in general, the Old Mill Inn, Hotel and Inn was such an institution here. When a teacher would talk about, I remember being in middle school, for example, and one of my teachers was so excited to get married, and at the Old Mill Inn, it was such an establishment. I also remember being in high school, and one of my friends had attended a wedding that he said was such a fancy, nice wedding, and we were all like, oh, where was it? And he was like, at the Old Mill Inn. That establishment really used to mean something. I will say, by way of bonus knowledge, we as a family have been going there for year after year after year, and one of the years during COVID, one of the earlier COVID years, it came a point where the hotel side was chained off from the restaurant side, and I had asked why that was, because part of the fun, if you will, or entertainment, especially as a child back in my younger days of going to Old Mill for a meal, would be that afterwards you could roam, for hours and playing around in the ballrooms and things like that, and being a mischievous little kid, okay? And being a mischievous little kid. Or by the same token, if you stayed at the hotel, one of the conveniences was that you could just walk down and sit in any of these dining rooms and just have a really good time. That was unfortunately no longer the case, and what hotel staff reported to us was that the 2, I believe, brothers that the business had been passed down to were no longer feeling the collaboration, if you will, that their parents had set up, and now the hotel side was separate from the restaurant side, legally and formally so. So that, you know, was obviously reflected in the two sides being chained up. The last time we went there, as you saw in this video, it's no longer, you know, chained up. Obviously, that's how I was able to gather the footage of the ballrooms or dining rooms or things like that. But that internal crack, I can't help but feel that it is one of the reasons that the old mill has turned into what I deemed a fallen gem in this video. And you know, they say all the water in the world can't sink a ship unless it gets in, and I'm afraid that some water has gotten in, because I can't think of too many other reasons that innately the business would be doing so far worse. It would be putting forward such a worse foot than it was, you know, 5-10 years ago. There's just no other reason. I mean, I know as a business lawyer, you know, costs have gone up, margins are smaller, staffing issues, all of this and that. I know that, but that doesn't mean that you can't still keep, you know, let's say it's a 100-room hotel open with 20 rooms, but you take the best care of those 20 rooms, right? 20 rooms, of course, allowing you to cut the fat on all those extra employees for the other 80 rooms you no longer have open, and this and that. And you could charge more for the 20 rooms you do have open now if it, you know, if they're just fabulously maintained. That was not the case here. The business was one that I don't know that truthfully I would answer again and be authentic about it in saying that I would now feel proud to bring a friend to the Old Mill Inn for, you know, the spa is still okay there, but very aged, very, you know, and I didn't get to show you for obvious, you know, reasons, like the inside of spa rooms and things like that in this video. But overall, having a night with a bestie or something like that, like I would be so embarrassed, you know, in how it would reflect on me to bring, you know, whether it's like a girls' night or a family night or a husband and wife night, whatever the case is, whatever your situation is, to bring somebody into that setting where there's like dust on the walls and there's other people's medication under the curtains and there's stains on the couches and there's, you know, it's just, if the Old Mill Inn was a person, it would need a facelift and some new clothes, okay? And maybe, you know, a workout class or two. But I don't know if that's where the owners are at, and I don't know if the business is going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. I don't know what the business owners have in mind and what their objectives are, but I do feel the business is not being maintained the way it should be, and of course that reflected in the experience as well. I'll leave this video there. Of course, you know to come to this channel for luxury experiences, whether it's accommodations or, you know, cars. I have videos here about buying my first Rolls Royce, about going Aston Martin shopping. I have videos here about smashing gold bars. So we're going to keep growing through the world of luxury experiences together. And I hope you're as excited as I am. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a comment down below if you're at all familiar with the Old Mill Inn, or if you're not. I know we have a little bit of an international audience. Is it a hotel that had ever popped up in your searches or something you thought you would visit? And just let me know your thoughts, and of course how we can improve on these videos as well. I do admit some of the footage in the video for some reason was a little grainy. I don't know if that was just the, you know, frowny face lighting in the rooms, in most of the rooms, or something we can improve on. Let me know your tips and tricks on that. And otherwise, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and of course click on the subscribe button down below. And again, thank you so much for watching this video.